Okay, guys, this is Bob Biggerstaff. This is going to be episode 9, part 3 of the Sciatica Saga. As always, this podcast, the Bobby Bigger Cast, is brought to you by Bobby Big's Chipotle Hot Sauce from SilkCityHotSauce.com. You get 15% off if you use passcode BIGS, BIGGS, on any orders. So check that out. And this episode, it's the last of my sciatica stories, sciatica saga, as we call it. I hope you enjoy it. Hope we answered all your questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me on Twitter, Bob underscore Biggerstaff. Jesus, I don't even know my name. Bob underscore Biggerstaff on Twitter, at Chili Time on Instagram, Facebook, Bob Biggerstaff. Oh, the Twitter, uh, the Instagram for this podcast is Bobby Biggs Chipotle. On Twitter, it's Cast Bigger. Just search Bobby Biggs Chipotle. You'll find it. Appreciate it, guys. And here we go. Episode 9, Part 3 of the Sciatica Saga, starring Bob Biggerstaff. Enjoy. Hello, my friends. It's Bobby Biggs, Bob Biggerstaff, from the Bobby Bigger Cast. This is episode 9, it's the Sciatica Saga, part 3. I know it's been over a month since I've done this because I'm a lazy, not as fat as I used to be, fat piece of shit. But with that out of the way, we're going to get right into it, guys. When I last left, we were talking about how it was a Friday and I was being told at the physical rehab hospital that they were going to let me. They were sending me home on Tuesday. I think I discussed this, but sending me home or sending me to a uh, old folks home. Why the fuck can't I ever think of what that goddamn word is? Uh, well, I didn't think I could go home, honestly, when they told me that, but my insurance, I guess, only allowed me 2 weeks in the physical rehab hospital. So I had to uh, either decide to go home or go to the old folks' place. And I wasn't about to go there. So I was like, okay, I can go home. So for the next, that was a Friday. For Saturday and Sunday and Monday, uh, probably had a couple physical rehab things on Saturday. Then Monday, Sundays was off, and then Monday I had 2 or 3 rehab stints. I think I told you they really worked us hard in the physical rehab hospital. That was the thing about being there that was way better than being in the uh, old folks home, because I got 3 physical therapy sessions a day, and I probably would have gotten 3 a week in that place. So by going home, I also I was going to do in-home therapy at at my apartment. So they gave me all this paperwork. It's Tuesday, but I'm telling them. So on Monday, I'm like, okay, how am I supposed to get home? Because, mind you, I think I've told you at this point, I still can't sit down. Like me sitting down right here, you still can't. Oh, you see this is a great place. If you ever make it up to Syracuse, Liverpool, New York, I stood in line at Hyde's. It's a great Hyde's of Liverpool. It's a great hot dog place in Liverpool, New York, which is right outside of Syracuse, about 5 minutes north of Syracuse. It's where I grew up, kindergarten, 10th grade. Not at the hot dog place. I mean, that would have been great if I grew up there, but I grew up in the town of Liverpool. So you ever make it up there, head out to Hyde's, and they got great hot dogs, and they have the white hots, the Coney dogs that are white. They're delicious. Anyway, I forgot why. Oh, I brought that up because I saw my T-shirt. So I can't sit down at this point. Still can't sit down. Can't. Not in an Uber. I can sit on a toilet if it's raised up. So not sure if I had mentioned this, but my roommate is a great guy. I had ordered a toilet riser, 6-inch toilet riser, and a shower bench. So I was like, all right, I can take a shit and I can shower myself, I guess. But like I said, I couldn't sit down in a regular car seat. So they decided to take me home in an ambulance. And I never thought ambulances dropped off people. I thought they only picked you up. Not that you can't reverse it, I guess, but it's kind of crazy to think, yeah, I'm going home, leaving the hospital in an ambulance. So it gets to be that Tuesday. Ambulance people come in. I should say everybody at Burke Rehab Hospital was very cool. Everybody that worked there was very nice. It was a beautiful place in White Plains, New York. If you ever get a chance to go to a physical rehab hospital, I recommend Burke Rehab in White Plains, New York. I'm not getting paid for that, but seriously, it was a very nice place. Would have possibly preferred something closer to my home, but probably wouldn't have been that nice. So the only reason I say I would have preferred something closer to home, but I guess it didn't matter, was when my girlfriend came and visited me. But she stayed up there, got a hotel room. I already mentioned that. Um, so they take me home in the ambulance, and I'm able, you know, and when they take you home, the ambulance people have to make sure that you get into your apartment. And I was like, well, if you just wheel me up to the outside door, I can use my walker. And at this point, I'm using my walker, but I'm not using it very well. That was another thing, like for in the future, where I was like, I'm gonna be stuck in my apartment because I can't go anywhere. I can't get up and use my walker. But I'm jumping ahead, so I I'm using my walker. They put me in the stretcher when I get home, take me right up to the front outside doors, and I'm on the second floor, but the elevator's working. So I'm able to use my walker, get in the elevator. They've come with me, or one person, one of the and my roommate Paul's there too. Uh, they help me. I mean, they just make sure Paul's obviously there, but the ambulance person makes sure, the paramedic makes sure that I get in my apartment. And I believe I just flopped down on my bed and was like, all right, that's it for the day. So when I get home, I'm supposed to do now I got to like go to the doctors and all this shit. And I still don't even I just think I have sciatica. Well, I got to go to the doctors and I got to go to a neurosurgeon, which is for I thought that was brain, but it's for your back. I have to go to, uh, what's he called? Or make an appointment with an endocrinologist. Jesus, I fucked that up. With an endocrinologist. That's because I was a fat ass and I had diabetes. And then I have to go to a pain doctor, which I never heard of. And I actually kind of got in an argument with my girlfriend, who's a nurse. So it's not like I can get into an argument with her on medical issues and win. And I say that only because she's 99.9% of the time is going to be right. I don't know when the 0.1% is when I'm right, but when that happens, I'll let you know. So, uh, I got to go to a pain doctor, got to go to an endocrinologist, got to go to a neurosurgeon. So I think the first one I went to was a neurosurgeon. And he told me that which nobody told me this in the hospital. Apparently, I have like a slip disc and that's causing the sciatica. Well, how did I get the slip disc? Because I didn't do anything. I didn't hurt myself. I didn't pick anything up. I told you, they kept asking me all the time. Did you get in a car wreck? Did you fall down? Did you hit your back? Like, no. So, come to find out, apparently, so at some point in my life, and it could have been the neurologist, back doctor said, could have been I was born that way, like Lady Gaga, hey, born this way. Could have been I was born that way, or I had an accident at some point, but there's like a little broken piece in my spine, if you will, my back, uh, that's caused a slip disc to the sciatica, but we don't know why it happened or what caused it. Could have been something years ago. I mean, it could have been in the Super Bowl recently, playing for the Bucks. I could have, well, no, I guess if I said a couple years ago, that would have made more sense, but not this Super Bowl. Uh, and the doctor told me then, he was like, you could have surgery to fix it. He goes, but I don't think you're a candidate for surgery. And I said, well, have you seen people get better just from physical therapy? And I'd already, I'd lost some weight at that point. And he was like, yes. He's like, this condition, what you have, I've seen people get back to 100% with uh, physical therapy. And he goes, I don't think you're in a position to have surgery unless, he goes, the only reason I would say you have surgery is is if you start to get unbearable pain. And my pain was worse then, but he's like unbearable pain, or if I develop drop foot, which means my left foot, if I can't like if your foot's on the ground, you can't like lift up your toes, keep your heel on the ground. Uh, to where I developed drop foot and I can't lift up my foot basically. He was like, then, you would have surgery to hopefully, although it doesn't necessarily 100%, it wouldn't necessarily 100% fix it. It could, but that's another thing. So I went the physical therapy route. Uh, so then I go to the pain doctor also, and he gives me pills for nerve pain. Uh, both these guys, I went to their offices. This is back in December, January, and I have to make the appointment with the endocrinologist. Like to go to his office, I would have to wait like 6 months, but they're like, we do virtual appointments now, especially because of COVID. So got a virtual appointment with him. He tells me now at this point, I'm taking like 9 different pills. I'm taking pills for fat ass type 2 diabetes. To quote Wilford Brimley, I got diabetes. I went for him as on Halloween one year. I don't know if I had diabetes then. Uh, and for nerve pain and I guess just like and back pain. So I'm on like 8 or 9 pills at maybe 6 or 7. Yeah, I'm on like 6. I'm taking a stool softener. I'm taking a Prilosec prescription because they say these pills give you a heartburn or whatever, but I wasn't getting heartburn, so I stopped taking it. Uh, but I'm taking this stool softener. Oh, because I'm also taking uh, what's it called? OxyContin. You know the uh, the drugs that nobody prescribes nowadays. It's hard as hell to find opiates because it's an opiate. It also gives you constipation, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. So I go to the pain doctor. He gave me like another 2 pills to take for my nerves. So at this point now I'm taking like maybe I was taking like 5 or 6 pills before. Now I'm taking like 6 or 7 different kinds. I'm not really taking the OxyContin. I'm taking, it says you can take it every 4 hours, but I'm taking it like maybe I'm taking one a day, and I don't even know if it's working to be honest with you. But then at some point, I realize, uh, just like if you remember when I first went in the hospital, that I haven't shit in like a week. So I'm at home. And granted, I'm not eating, I'm certainly not eating as much as I was before all this stuff happened, but I'm not eating much, but still, I'm drinking coffee. I realized after like 5 days, I'm like, I haven't fucking shit. Uh, I end up, but nothing, it doesn't hurt. Like I don't feel bad. I just haven't taken a shit. And so I'm at home. I end up buying a enema, Fleet enema. When you need an enema, be sure and go Fleet. Well, I also bought suppositories. I tell you, Amazon has got fucking everything. So for like $5 each, I got a pack of suppositories, and these things look like a fucking, they literally look like a bullet. And what you do is, if you've never taken a suppository, they tell you like to, you lay down on your side. What I mean, well, I don't know. It doesn't really matter about taking a suppository. You just got to shove it up your butthole. So I literally like stood in front of the sink, pulled my pants down, and put this thing up my butt. I should say that my girlfriend told me beforehand, she was like, yeah, you should actually, this is true, you should actually put it in the flat side first. Like it's like a bullet, but she's like, put the flat side in for, and I'm like, but it's supposed to go. She's like, well, it'll stay up easier. And I'm like, to this day, I don't know if she was fucking with me or not. I think you're just supposed to put it in the bullet side first. You're not supposed to. She might have been fucking with me. I never asked her. If she was, touche, babe. But uh I don't know. So I put the suppository up there. It says it's gonna take like a half hour. I don't know. I think I felt it was working and went to take a shit too early. And so it plopped out. Then I was like, now I'm like, I'm working on this. I got to do it. Again, I'm not hurting or anything, but I'm like, I got to do this. So now now it's enema time. I got to go with the enema. So now it's back to Fleet. And this box came with like 4 enemas. So the enema, you got to like get in a position to put it in to put the little tip of the tube, much like this. It would be like putting this Bobby Pigs. Jesus Christ, I don't even know the name of my own hot sauce. Bobby Biggs Chipotle. If you're watching the YouTube, you'll see I'm holding up a bottle of Bobby Biggs Chipotle. It certainly was not like this. This was like the end of the suppository that my girlfriend wanted me to stick up my pooper. So I get the Fleet enema and I break off the end that you're supposed to, like you're supposed to. I'm laying on my side like it says, because I guess your colon's on, you lay on your left side, you put a towel under you. But I'm doing this on my bed. So I'm like, great. If this thing fucking leaks, I'm going to get fucking, shit water all over my bed. I mean, jism's fine, but shit water, hey, oh. Okay. So I'm laying on my side. I stick this thing in my butt. I squeeze, and I think I'm, squirting this whole thing up. And it's a bottle. It's round, but it's probably about this big. I don't know. This is 8.5 full ounces. It's probably like it's probably 6 or 8 ounces. The bottle of, I mean, you don't want to squirt Bobby Biggs Chipotle up your butt. You won't forget that. You put the right end in, that's for sure. But it's probably about 6 ounces of water or whatever liquid they have in there. So I put it in and I'm like, lightly squeezing the bottle. Then I'm like, fucking, I just squeeze the bottle and I think I feel a whole, like, all right, that's it. I take it out and I've probably squirted in like that much. Like if the thing was filled up to, as you see on the YouTube, if you're watching the video, I mean, I I put like maybe a half an inch of liquid in my butt out of this. So it was barely anything. And I'm like, God damn it. So I stick it back in like you have to. And by this point, putting it back in feels good at this point. So I stick it back in, feels nice. And I just fucking go, I squeeze that bottle and I'm like, all right, come on, motherfucker. Juice up my butt. Squeeze it in there, take the bottle back out, look at it. I'm like, God damn, like maybe half of it's in me now, but I'm like, okay, I gotta wait. Uh, so then I like go to the bathroom and nothing comes out, or very little comes out. Uh, then, oh, my girlfriend had also said uh, a few days before, she was like, get you some poop tea, which is just hot tea that, you know, is for, I guess, just for constipation or to make you poop. I don't think I Googled poop tea, but I think I Googled like tea diuretic. Again, Amazon. 2 days later, got a box of poop tea. But this was a few days ago, so I had all three of these things at the same time. So then I'm like, all right, I'm going to do the tea. Says it takes overnight. Well, I literally drank this tea, and obviously it was just timing. I'm sure from the enema or suppository pieces, I guess that were left up there. Uh, I drank the tea, and literally 5 seconds after I finished the tea, I was like, "Oh my god!" And I ran to the bathroom. But I sat down, and some water came out, and then it just goes bloop. And I looked in the toilet, and there was just a little piece of poop that had that was blocking everything. Just a little piece. Now I don't know if I said this, but before all this started, like the day before, it only hurt when I tried to poop. I wasn't hurting, but I would try to poop and I'd be like, fuck, I could tell there was a blockage. That's why I went with all the stuff. And then when the blockage came out, I was like, God damn it, it's just a little fucking turd blocking my hole. And but that got it. And literally then that night I took 5 gigantic diarrhea shits. Sorry to be graphic, but I literally that night and the next day I took like, and it was like every hour. Every hour I would have to go to the bathroom and there was a bunch of diarrhea. Actually, you know what? Let me rephrase that. It wasn't diarrhea. It was like regular shits, but I did it like 5 times. It wasn't diarrhea. They were actually good poops, but it was like every hour I'd be like, "Oh my god." And then I'd look in the toilet like you do and be like, "That's the same size as poops as the last one." So, just good times in the toilet, guys. We like to have fun here on the Bobby Bigger cast. And going to the bathroom is, a part of what Bob likes. So, that was it as far as the and then I had already stopped taking the oxycodone, but I didn't need it anymore either. So at this point, I'm at home. I've gone to these doctors. I was supposed to have in home physical therapy, but in home physical therapy was going to be like once or twice at home, and it's not as intense as if you go to the physical therapy place. So then you got to find a physical therapy place that takes my insurance. I find a place. It's called Hands of Hope Physical Therapy on Steinway Street in Astoria. Uh, if you have the right insurance, I recommend it highly. They're great people. Been going there for, Jesus, 3 months, 4 months. So I found that place. Started going to because by this point I figured out because from going to the pain doctor and the neurologist that I could sit in an Uber for. I mean, this place is. I've actually just started taking the bus. I was taking an Uber. It's about a mile away. It's a little too far. It would take me a long time to walk there, just because I'd probably have to stop 3 or 4 times. I could make it, but it's almost a mile. It'd probably take me 45 minutes to get there, and I don't want to. So I actually just started taking the bus. Uh, but it's a great physical therapy place. I love everybody there. And they got a pool. Like today, I actually swam. So I started doing outpatient physical therapy. But those months ago, like whenever that was, it must have been like I got out of the hospital in November. I mean, that was December. A physical therapist came by my house because they have to, and a nurse to check on me, and they're checking all my stuff. They're giving me blood tests. I got to get a blood test to go see a regular doctor. Uh, so at this point, I go to I go to the regular doctor. Uh, I go to the endocrinologist. I do the virtual appointment, and he's like, okay, tell him all the drugs I'm on. He's like, all right, well, let's go get a blood test and we'll figure all this stuff out. So when I get the blood test, this is the great thing. So I go and get the blood test this a couple months ago. Uh, I don't have diabetes anymore. My A1C, which I don't know what it is, but there's some sort of diabetes number, was my N1's A1C was 9.2. 9.2. Now I believe you have diabetes if you're like over 6. So I was way I was way over the limit. Let's see. I'm going to look. Uh yeah, I was very high A1C, 9.2. Last time I got it checked, 5.1, which is good. And it also meant I didn't have diabetes. So I got to stop taking one of those diabetes pill. I still take one of the, I guess it's like a pre-diabetes pill. But I'm on the chart of not having diabetes. So losing 45 pounds. Uh, I probably lost about 30, 35 when in the 3 weeks I was in the hospital, believe it or not, because they don't serve beer. Uh, and if anybody's wondering, I can tell you diet definitely plays a big part in weight loss because obviously I mean, I was doing some exercises, a lot of stretching and isometrics, if you will, but I mean, I wasn't doing any cardio or anything. And my diet, not drinking beer, of that 45 pounds, I bet you 30 of it came off just because of not drinking beer. Because I used to drink a lot of beer. And now I'm eating salads and also eating 3 meals a day. I wasn't eating 3 meals a day before I went in the hospital. I thought I was eating too much food in the hospital, to be honest with you, because I never ate 3 meals a day. Of course, they're normal portions. I was first time they gave me the food, I was like, "What is this?" They're like, "That's the plate." No, and I was like, "Oh, normally it's covered with food. I never see the bottom of the plate." Booyah! Fat joke. Got to get new material. So basically, that's about it. I'm at home now. I've gone from 265 to weighed myself today, 217. I'm eating good. I'm using a cane now, going to physical therapy. I've got, I go like at least twice, usually 3 times a week. Today I had swim therapy. They do a real good job. The pain. Oh, I skipped something. When I went to the pain doctor, I actually had what's it called? The shot in the back, like when you're pregnant. Uh, God damn, I can't remember where old people live, and I can't remember the shot in the back I got. Um, what is shot in back? Shot in back for sciatica. What's it called? Epidural. I'm an idiot. I got an epidural in my back a few months ago. I think that's helped. It's definitely helped. Now I was a pussy when I got it, because I don't, a shot in the back. So I remember So I scheduled the shot in the back from my pain doctor, an epidural, and they're explaining it to me. And it's like, yeah, we put the needle in and we have to move it around to find the spot. And I'm like, what? This is like when I'm getting ready to, I'm sitting on the table they're going to do this on. So it's scheduled. I'm sitting there and I'm like, what? You move it around. And of course, I didn't know like you could get knocked out for this. So I'm like, I don't want to do this. So I said no. I was like, I don't want to do it. And then I remember sitting there. The whole reason of getting this epidural, well, make me feel better, but was so I could go to ride in an airplane, sit in a seat because I was still having trouble. I certainly couldn't sit in an airplane seat for 2.5 hours. It'd be more than that. Sitting in a wheelchair, then an airplane seat. It's going to be like with the planes. It's going to be at least 4 hours, if not five, sitting like that. And I can't. So remember I was going to leave. And then I just remember thinking, God, if I can't come to Houston, my girlfriend's going to be pissed. She's my fiance now. I won't get to see her or my family or Elizabeth's dog that I love, Lola, who's on the bottle of hot sauce there. Elizabeth's holding her. You can see the video. By the way, folks, check out Bobby Biggs Chipotle at silkcityhotsauce.com. Code word BIGS, BIGGS, get 15% off on any order. So I got to get this. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, can I have a couple minutes? And then the doctor was like, yeah, well, we can knock you out. He's like, it costs an extra $100. And I was like, I'm not worried about the $100. I got bank. But I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, all right, knock me out. So the way they knocked me out was just by putting an IV in my top of my hand. But I remember sitting there. So I'm laying there, laying on my stomach because I got to go in my back through the back. And they use a machine to do this. I didn't know this at the time. So I'm laying there, put the thing in my arm, and I go, well, how do you know when I'm out? And he goes, well, I'm also an anesthesiologist, so I'll know. And the next thing I remember is me waking up and them saying, okay, go over to this room. We'll give you a coffee and sandwich. And I was like, all right. It was done. They put a little Band-Aid on my back. And I got to sit in a recliner and have coffee and a ham and cheese sandwich, which I didn't mind. That was my breakfast because I actually was not supposed to eat for like the previous. This thing was at like 7 in the morning too, so it wasn't like I missed. That was my breakfast. And it takes a few days for it to kick in, and it's not, the pain wasn't. It's not like everything was gone, but it certainly lessened my pain. So I enjoyed that. I might be going back for another one next month. So outside of that, like I said, I've been going to physical therapy and it's working very well. I've gone from, using a walker. I mean, I was using a walker then. I'm going to physical therapy and they could tell I was getting better, but I guess I was like just worried about that I needed a walker and they were like, you need to start using the cane. And then when I started using the cane, I was like, yeah, I can do this. So I've pretty much, now I can walk a couple blocks before I gotta sit down and rest, maybe a little less, but still I started taking the subway. I got, been going to shows and, uh, you know, things are getting better. My foot, my calf will hurt a little bit. My back really doesn't hurt very much. Uh, but my outside calf where the sciatic nerve runs down your leg, that still hurts a little bit sometimes, but I'm only taking a couple pills now. Take a couple vitamins. They got me taking some vitamins and I don't have high cholesterol, but I'm taking cholesterol pill. That was kind of weird this is funny. The doctor, the endocrinologist, when he checked all my blood work, he was actually amazed that my A1C had basically gotten cut in half like it did. He literally said, "This is amazing." So that was nice to hear. But he like sent me a a note when he sent me the information on the blood test to say, he says, in this handwritten note, he's like, "This is amazing." And it also said, "Your cholesterol isn't high, but it's a little, I guess it's a little above normal, but it wasn't considered high." He's like, "So if you want to take a cholesterol medicine, you can. Just let me know." And I'm like, "If I want to? What do you mean?" I'm like, "You're the doctor. Fucking tell me. Tell me I should or I shouldn't." But so I decided to. So I'm taking a little cholesterol medicine, but I also know I've changed my diet really good, so I'm hoping that goes down too if that's possible. But, things are going good, guys. I hope this episode was informative. I'm getting better every day. I appreciate you guys listening. As you know, Bobby Biggs Chipotle. Check it out at silkcityhotsauce.com. 15% off, passcode Biggs. Appreciate you guys listening, and goodbye.